The carefully constructed narrative of the Duchess of Sussex's triumphant return to the European spotlight was spectacularly undermined at Paris Fashion Week, not by a hostile media or a disapproving public, but by one of her oldest and most indispensable friends, Markus Anderson. In what sources are describing as a chillingly deliberate act, the Soho House global consultant and man credited with facilitating her first dates with Prince Harry was observed shutting down the Duchess on multiple occasions during the Balenciaga show, an emotional and public retreat that left Meghan Markle visibly seething. The incident, which occurred amidst the high-stakes debut of Balenciaga's new creative director, Pier Paolo Piccioli, has sent immediate shockwaves through the Sussex's Californian power circle. For Meghan, who relies on a select group of fiercely loyal, high-profile friends to validate her celebrity status and strategic moves, Anderson's alleged cold shoulder was a devastating, televised indictment. He is the original social architect of her royal romance, the one who knew her before the palaces and the production deals. His apparent distancing from the Duchess in such a public, high-glamour setting immediately ignited speculation that the carefully managed Sussex brand is beginning to show critical fractures, even among those previously considered untouchable allies. The evening was meant to be a show of force. Meghan, dressed in a custom, all-white Balenciaga cape ensemble, arriving fashionably late with a small, powerful entourage. Yet, observers noted a palpable tension from the moment the Duchess took her seat next to Anderson and actress Tracee Ellis Ross. The dynamic, typically one of warmth and complicity between Meghan and her trusted advisor, was reportedly frosty. According to multiple accounts from those in the room, when Meghan leaned in to engage Anderson, he responded with noticeably clipped conversation, his body language signaling an uncomfortable, almost professional distance. Crucially, when the Duchess made a move towards an affectionate greeting, a casual touch or an attempt at a cheek-to-cheek air kiss, Anderson reportedly employed a subtle, yet unmistakable, physical shutdown, turning his attention abruptly or simply failing to reciprocate the warmth. In the unforgiving glare of the front row, where every interaction is magnified, this non-reciprocal behavior was a glaring breach of protocol for two people once described as the second most important man in her life. This public moment of awkwardness comes at a particularly fraught time for the Duchess, making Anderson's behavior look less like a personal lapse and more like a calculated corporate retreat. Paris Fashion Week was already a magnet for controversy for Meghan's camp due to her choice of the Balenciaga brand itself. The Duchess, who has consistently championed herself as an advocate for child welfare and online safety through her foundation. Anderson's conspicuous absence from the couple's highly publicized Netflix docuseries, Harry and Meghan, had already raised eyebrows months earlier. His presence, or lack thereof, is read as a barometer for the Sussexes' shifting social priorities. After all, the docuseries featured several other lesser-known friends, but the man who was her essential link to the elite, private, and exclusive world she craved was nowhere to be found, reportedly preferring to avoid the spotlight. Yet, here he was, in the ultimate global spotlight of Paris, with his friend only to deliver a high-fashion cold shoulder that was infinitely more noticeable than his absence from a streaming show. The interpretation being aggressively circulated among media commentators is clear: Anderson is a savvy operator who recognizes a potential liability. As the Sussexes transition into a more overtly commercial, Hollywood-focused brand, the necessity of having royalty-adjacent friends diminishes, replaced by the requirement of aligning with figures who maintain an impeccable, controversy-free public image. Anderson's retreat, whether intentional or misinterpreted, validates the antagonizing portrayal of Meghan as someone who, in her relentless pursuit of A-list legitimacy, has become increasingly isolated and perhaps even a risk to her most loyal and politically astute allies. Meghan Markle's Paris Fashion Week debut may have been an attempt at a glittering re-entry into the European elite, but the incident with Markus Anderson casts a deep shadow over the entire affair. It suggests that while the Duchess can acquire designer clothes and front-row seats, the loyalty of her essential inner circle, the true mark of enduring power, may be slipping away at the most inopportune moments. For a woman who prizes control and image above all else, seeing her core support system visibly retreat in the presence of the world's press must have indeed left her seething big time. The public fallout from this brief, charged exchange with a friend may prove far more damaging than any fleeting wardrobe criticism.